Okay, Steve, here we are, session 3.
Do you still feel hopeless after all of that drama? Tell them what we were just at. Tell them what we were trying to do, and you
Trying to get Steve to download a game through Steam.
really at it.
Miserable. So here we are for session 3. We're in Sanctuary, if you remember correctly. I don't remember what weapons I have. You have a shotgun, clearly. We have to pick up fuel cells. You remember what we were doing?
No, but I have a quick question. Is there a button that makes me run faster?
Shift. Sprint.
Yes. There it is.
You've asked that once every session you've asked that. I wanted to play a PvP game tonight because I think it's pointless to upload Borderlands videos when Borderlands 3 is coming out. Borderlands 3 comes out in 2 days as a reference here, right? As a kind of a reference of time. So I figured it would have been a good place to cap off in Sanctuary, but I couldn't get Steve to download a game from the Steam Marketplace, which is like the easiest thing to download from, admittedly.
No, it's not. It's easy, but obviously my internet wasn't cooperating. And then you made me cancel the initial download that was doing good.
Dude, I've done nothing but think about the Khabib-Tony Ferguson fight for like the last 10 hours.
Think about it. The most fixed fight. Oh wait, you're talking about the next fight, Khabib and Tony. It's gonna be good, man. I have my doubts. I'm not as sold on Tony being able to beat him as you are, but I'm looking forward to it.
He's the only person stylistically that kind of makes sense to be able to beat him, right?
No. I was talking to Pat about this earlier, and it's you know, Tony's got a good rubber guard and he's good off his back. He's excellent off his back, but the problem is that I just think Khabib is able to friggin'
get out of that.
Yeah, he's able to get out of that, dude. And he's able to control most guys on the ground by passing their guard. All right, let's get into the serious shit. How the hell do I sell all this stuff, Zach?
Okay, so hit Q to shop with this guy. And at the top, there's a money sign, and next to that, there's a bag, and then you can sell everything from there.
As well, it's not Q, it's E.
Okay, whatever it is for you.
Get back to what you were saying, dude. Fucking, I think it's gonna be a pretty amazing fight. I don't know, man. I'm so depressed at the thought it could be, right? Because he's the dominant fighter, he's the dominant champion, and his weight class.
Maybe.
The most dominant. I just don't have a lot of faith in the guys that would go against him. Go against him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you beat him. You know, he's clearly, you know, maybe the single most one-dimensional fighter maybe ever. I mean, he has hands, but he really can't strike. He is just so good at wrestling that no one else really even kind of minorly competes with him.
No,
it's so insane to watch someone be so dominant at a sport that you have to be well-rounded to be good at, or at least we thought.
All right, so here's the thing, right? I'm not comparing him to him, and I know someone's gonna hear this shit and they're gonna be like, "This dude has no idea what he's talking about." But I don't think he's so one-dimensional as someone like Ronda Rousey. But I always get that same vibe when I watch his fights, right? I got the same vibe.
He does one thing.
I get the same vibes from watching Daniel Cormier's fights, and I've always said to myself, something's gonna happen where someone's gonna be able to pummel, or they're gonna assert their will on Daniel Cormier to a point where he crumples. John did to him. Like the first fight, it was just basically a grappling affair, and no matter what he tries to say, John held him against the cage, and he couldn't handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like he could not handle that.
I 100% agree. I'm almost more impressed with how Stipe beat him than how John beat him, right? I get and how dominant John is, and what he did to DC had really, you know, never really been done, right? He hadn't really been tested that much before that. Like, obviously, he had hard fights. Like, the Rumble fights are no joke, and there's a bunch of different, there's a bunch of different things, but, you know, he still pretty much dominated all of his other fights, right? Gus gave him some issues.
Oh yeah,
not even.
The Gus fight was a dog fight. Go back and watch that again, and like, Daniel got dropped by a knee.
He but the Stipe was he didn't win the first round.
No, he didn't win the second round.
Argument to be made, he didn't win the second round, but he looked way better in the second round than he did the first. And then third round, okay, it's 50-50 almost. And then was it third round he won, or he won in fourth? Right, he TKO'd him in the fourth.
Yeah, I think it was the fourth. That was a hell of an adjustment he made, though, dude. That body shot.
He made an adjustment. You know, those 5, 6, 7 body shots or whatever he made, with a left hook to the body in a row. You can't. Like that's incredible. I am more impressed by that because of the mid-fight adjustment that Stipe had to make in a fight that he was losing on the scorecards, and even maybe a 10-8 round in the first round, right? Because he had no control. He got taken down. He was getting outstruck. He was getting out everything, right?
Right.
And then comes back and wins that fight.
All right, now that was an amazing adjustment. If you can just look past the picogram situation of John testing, go watch their second fight, dude, and look at the setup John does. Because in the first fight, John hit him with a lot of body shots, and that just opened up some oblique kicks, and then eventually Daniel faded. But the second fight, dude, the amount of times John kicked him in the lower leg and in the calf, and then to bring it up top high, like, I think that exposed Daniel in that way, and I think Stipe just put the nail in the coffin in regards to Cormier being able to make adjustments, and I think it's gonna look the same way when friggin' Khabib gets beat.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Someone's gonna get past the first round, which everyone does with Khabib, right? There's not many first round finishes there. An incredible coach is gonna go, oh hey, by the way, try to step left when he goes to shoot for you. Step left, let him run into the cage, or step left and throw a straight at him, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, okay, and then they're gonna do it. They're gonna hit him. They're gonna drop him, get his back, and choke him out. And I think that's how he loses. I don't think he loses to a knockout. I think he loses to like a rear naked or some submission that's gonna be really hard to get out of, right?
I agree.
The idea would be Tony Ferguson beats him with a Darce in transition. That's my thought, but I think I don't know how.
I don't think with the amount of grappling that he's done since he was a kid,
he's not going to get hit in transition.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not going to tap first and foremost. You're gonna have to like
put him out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to break something
out. Yeah.
Because the choke, the guillotine that Dustin cinched up on him. Some guys
was tight.
Yeah, some guys would have tapped from that.
Yeah, but I think it was Chael Sonnen or maybe it was Schaub that said he rolled to his back to get out of that, and he goes, that's last resort is rolling to your back like that.
Yeah.
But it
100%.
was one of the first things Khabib did is he rolled and rolled and he got that other arm loose, and then he was just back on top. At one point he just reached up and pushed his arm off of him, and I was laughing when I saw that. I'm like, that was so silly easy.
You know what the crazy thing about it is too? Like Khabib has no fear of jiu-jitsu, right? So it doesn't. That might be his downfall. The thing I think that's more than likely going to happen to him is he's going to get outpaced and beat up in a fight, and then
that's why I think Ferguson beats him.
Now that I can agree with. That I can agree with. Tony can stay up.
I don't think Tony's this amazing striker. I don't think he's an amazing grappler. He is very good at both. He's not.
Yeah.
Because Khabib is incredible at wrestling, right? He's incredible at grappling. He's not a very good striker.
All it takes is going to be a quick, not pawing jab, but a quick snap jab that's going to end that guy's night over and over again until he's busted up and bleeding, and then he starts shooting in for wild double legs. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start training so I can go get beat up by Khabib. Every day, 4 times a day. Let's do it. In the gym, I'm already not motivated to do that anymore. Let's just play video games, dude.
We are going on an assassination. We're going to go kill a guy. Murder Assassin Watt. We're going to get a car. And I don't remember where to get a car.
Desk, man. I got a noob complaint right now. But I'm going to get a fat I told you so. You know the desk that I have, which is not really made for gaming at all? It's not even really made for productivity to work on. Now that I realize it.
It's just made for it to look pretty?
This thing is so uncomfortable to play on.
Yeah.
Because my arms are off. I don't have any anything
Support?
to rest any support. It's
Yeah, I got an L-Desk for that exact reason, and that's why I suggest to everyone to get an L-Desk when they're PC gaming. Because if you set your monitor up, you have an entire part of that desk to put your arm on.
And it's wait, so it comes out a little bit more, huh? Right? I'm like moving my shoulders up and down. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, it's an L, right? And I'm not sitting. Even if you sit directly and look at the left monitor, right? But you still have the entire right side of the desk to sit your arm on and use it as support. Right, my main monitor is in the corner, but I have support on both left and right of me to put my arms, and they're comfortable.
If I just got a chair that had should I shoot this thing? I'm gonna shoot it.
I mean, shoot everything. We have to, like...
Yeah, yeah! What the fuck?
So, yeah, I think Tony Ferguson has the skill set to beat Khabib, but we also have never even seen Khabib lose a round, really. So,
no.
I don't really think he lost that round to Conor. I mean, that's that's the what if round